back in the studio with us. Time for Taking You Home. Great to see you again, Heidi.
Good to see you.
Okay, last week we ended up with some really good news that buyers are showing up again, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What is it that they are, I don't want to use the word demanding, but I kind of feel that way, right? Because they are very discriminating in what they're looking for.
Yes. The fact that there's more inventory gives people more selection, and they can be, discriminating is a good word for it, or I'm a little bit more selective, a little bit more demanding, maybe.
Picky.
Yeah, we can be picky. And that always hasn't been the case. So we're coming off of a time frame where we're re-educating sellers of what you can do in advance or what you can anticipate later on. And so some of those things are evident where, we can, go into a home and say, okay, I had one this year where it was, the home was excellent. It had new roof, new siding, new furnace, new water heater, new water softener, new appliances. But boy, the wood floors really needed to be done. They were rough, right?
Yeah,
So it's one of those things where we advertised it that way and priced it accordingly. Did not have to address that, but there are some homes where, you can have everything great, and the one thing might be the thing that you end up
That's the one that sticks out, right?
Yep,
If everything else looks like $1 million,
Yep.
this $1.99 sitting over here.
Yes.
Okay, so how do you talk to people about that? You said you specifically marketed the property that way. What do you say?
Yeah, well, it's twofold, because you have to, you're talking to your seller about it on one hand, and then you're talking about it with your buyer on the other hand. So when I am talking to buyers, going through in homes, you say, you can't go into a house and know that, okay, I'm going to spend $8,600 on new floor in this home. That doesn't constitute an $8,600 price adjustment.
Right.
It just doesn't necessarily work that way. And I've had people who are like, well, we would want to replace the heating system, or we would want to finish the garage and insulate it.
Mm-hmm.
Those don't equate into price reductions, and they also don't always equate improvements that you can ask the seller to do.
So can I tack that onto the price of my home?
Well, there are different.
Sometimes
there are different products where you can do different construction things for
Right.
sure. But I think it's a balancing act of looking at: do you keep on looking for something that's done that way, or do you get into a home that has maybe 8 of the 10 things that you want done, and know that if those other things are important to you, you may have to do them. Now, we can price those things out as part of an option. I mean, I have somebody right now that's looking at, well, we'd want to make a yard bigger than what is set up right now, and so it'll involve some landscaping and some fencing and those types of things. So part of that process might be, okay, well, let's go over and measure. Let's see ultimately what this was going to cost us with these vendors that we might use, and put you in a position where, does it still make sense to buy the house?
Okay, younger buyers versus people my age,
Yes.
right? Because I'm kind of an anomaly.
Yeah.
I'll take on that landscaping project.
Sure.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Younger people, oh sure, I'll do that myself. No problem. Strong back, weak mind, right?
Yeah.
So now I try to use my brain a little bit more.
Yeah.
Are older sellers, or rather, are older buyers, do they look for the complete package already done?
I would not say that I would pinpoint that on an age.
Okay.
I think that it's a personality thing.
Abilities and stuff?
I think it has a lot to do with abilities and what drives people, right? And there's always going to be those people that say, I would rather get something at a lesser price and invest my own time and energies into it.
Make it mine?
Yep, exactly. And there's also those people that want it completely finished. The true challenge comes into play when you have a wife that is willing to do something and the husband is not, or whatever couple it is.
Sure.
Or, where you have a partnership there, and they're in 2 different categories. That's a little bit more challenging. But I do think that that's not specific to price range.
Okay.
It's more personality.
What about new homes, new construction versus a 25-year-old home?
Well, I always talk that through with people, because I definitely think from price per square foot, you're going to get more bang for your buck in an existing home.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be priced lower, and there's going to be things done. The window treatments are there, the landscaping is there.
Yep.
All those things. The beautiful thing about new construction is you're buying new, and you don't have to worry about your furnace for 10 years. You don't have to worry about your roof. So it is really a personality thing. We'll have people sometimes start with existing and move into new, or even vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a process.
You know, when we're talking here, I automatically think of a garage floor,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Something is sealed, it's got the epoxy and all
Yep.
that stuff. Or you go into some older home and it's just cracked and, right?
Yeah.
To a guy,
Yeah.
that is a big deal.
Well, it sure is, and you know, if you're even for people that are potentially downsizing, let's say you're going from a 2-story to a 1-level home,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you only have 1 living room. Finishing garages is a big deal because that might be where your new gathering space is, right? So you know, connecting people with vendors that do that type of work is kind of the process of what we do. I mean, we're
Yeah.
saying, okay, well, when we're doing our inspection, let's have somebody come out and bid out this floor for you, so you know that it's probably not going to be something we're negotiating because we're beyond that point right now, but at least you're going into this with open eyes, knowing
Yeah.
what it's going to cost you.
It's available.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And really, I can see where that would really help out in the thought process.
For sure. And so sometimes we're doing that stuff in advance. That is the beauty of what our current marketplace is that things are moving at a little bit more of a logical pace where people can actually say, okay, I want to look at it, and then I'm going to look at it again, and okay, yeah, no, now I know I want to buy it, but before we write something up, I want to research these 3-4
Yeah.
items to make sure that we're not making a mistake and getting over our head on what we want to do to the yard or to the basement or to this bathroom.
Logical is a great
Yes.
word.
Yes.
It really is.
It is.
That I could see where, you know, if you're at 2.5%, 3%, the world is crazy.
Yeah.
But I want the logical part.
Yeah. Well, and people are just being much more conscientious of how they spend their dollars.
Smarter.
Yes, very
Absolutely.
very much so.
Heidi, let's get smart. How do we work with you at VoigtJohnson Real Estate?
Well, you can call us at 320-774-2400 or visit us at VoigtJohnson.com. Great gallery of agents there for you. All
Heidi, thank you.
right, thank you.
Right out of my hat.
Right out of both of our hats.
Exactly.
Right